Welcome to Single Leg Parlay. We've had a couple weeks of college football. Now NFL kicks off, which means your weekends are completely shot, and I cannot be more excited. I'm Andy. That's Al. That's Danny. That's Sunshine. We're going to give you some NFL talk for week one. But before we do that, cheers, boys. All right, so to kick off the season, we're going to bring back a fan favorite, a little game that Matt came up with. He's not here today, unfortunately, but in his honor, we're going to play a little game of Where He At. So I'm going to name an NFL player, and you guys give me your best guess as to where he's at. Some of these will be really easy for some of us. Some of them will be pretty hard, but that's all right. We'll figure out where everybody's at. I'm going to start off with one that's going to be pretty easy for at least one of us here. Guys, Kirk Cousins. Where he at? I know Sunshine knows, so Al or Danny.
Yeah.
If well, that kind of gives it away too, huh?
Yeah, Sonny, why don't you let the people know?
Kirk Cousins is the proud starting quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons.
He
is. While we're here, how do we all feel about them paying Cousins crazy money and then going out and drafting a quarterback anyway? Do we like that? Do we not understand it? How do we feel?
So I think it has to do with like Desmond Ritter PTSD, and they were just like, never again, never again. We need an immediate solution, and we need a long-term solution.
But they drafted the guy who's 25. He's not a long-term solution.
I mean, quarterbacks play until they're 40. I think 15 years is a pretty good time.
All right.
Yeah, I think that. So I don't disagree with it, and I haven't disagreed with it since it happened. But I mean, guys, this is something that a decade ago was pretty normal. That they would pay some big guy money and then draft a young guy to tutelage under the big guy. And I get it. My team did it with Matt Ryan. My team drafted Matt Ryan as a rookie, made him a starter, and he was our golden child, right? That shouldn't be considered the norm, and that's what has become the norm. No longer the last one I can think of is Jordan Love had to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for 5 years or something.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen as much anymore, mostly because of the new salary cap structure, right? So when you're drafting, they're all slotted. If you remember, guys like Matt Ryan would get $70 or $80 million guaranteed with their rookie contract, and now they're just slotted in at it's like a $25 million contract if you go first, or $30 million contract if you go first, and that becomes huge value at the quarterback position if you get a guy in the first round and you don't have to give him that massive contract. And before it was so much risk, so they had all that risk. They didn't want to play him. Now, since it's such a little risk, they're like, all right, let's see if you're good. If you're not, we'll go on to the next one.
Yeah, I think also, while it makes sense to have an immediate solution and then planning for the future, I think it's just a bit of a shell shock when you make both of those moves 1 month apart.
Yeah, I mean that's accurate. That's true. It was a big shock to everybody, but I'm happy with what they did afterwards. The signings they did up until the beginning of the season, and I don't really care that they cheated by talking to Kirk Cousins in some window.
Right.
There's also the opportunity that Kirk Cousins will be a trade chip after his second season there, when his big bonus becomes much more affordable to hit the cap. You can get a first round pick for Kirk Cousins if he's still playing well.
Oh, I'm not thinking that far in advance. I'm waiting for Kirk to win us the Super Bowl, and then, that's just this season, right? And then we send him on his way.
Yeah.
There you go. That works out well for everybody.
Not for me.
All right, boys. Sam Darnold, where he at?
We got a little connect the dots here.
Fine.
Where did Kirk leave? He left Minnesota, and
Is Darnold up in Minnesota?
They said, "Oh, we can let Kirk Cousins walk. We're going to bring in the redheaded stepchild to replace him."
I think they actually let Kirk Cousins walk because they were going to draft J.J. McCarthy.
Well,
didn't he get injured?
He did.
Oh my gosh!
Now
I think
Sam
he's done for
Darnold's
the
show.
year. So yes, Sam Darnold will be the starting quarterback in Minnesota.
How does Sam
Lego fireman gets back in the behind
Lego
center.
fireman, yeah. Lego head.
So if he's bad or gets hurt, the other quarterbacks they have on their roster are Nick Mullen and Jaron Hall. So I'm not going to be doing a lot of betting on Minnesota this year, I don't think.
No, and I
Spoiler
gotta wait
alert,
at least a
I'm
week
picking
until
them
I
week
start.
1.
I gotta wait at least a week until I start betting Atlanta in the 3:00 window live.
Yes.
There you
But
go.
I might not
Curveball.
wait a week. I might not wait a
Curveball,
week. I
yeah.
might, if they're down.
Nice. All right, boys. Next one up here. Russell Wilson. Where he at?
Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That's another one where they have two
Fields
quarterbacks
starting.
now, right?
Where he at?
Justin Fields is in Pittsburgh too, right? So they got two quarterbacks there now. It's another one of those. Justin Fields could be good still,
Yeah.
I think.
It's a trick question when Andy inevitably asks us where Justin Fields is because he's on the bench. That's where he's at.
That's accurate. When they first opened camp, I was hearing that Fields looked really good and was going to give Russell a run for his money. But since then, they named Russ the starter. I think they made him a captain. It looks like they're running with Russ.
Russ seems like the perfect quarterback to make sure Mike Tomlin stays one game above 500 this year again.
Yeah. I
I would bet my life on that team finishing under 500.
Ooh.
All right.
Well, I mean,
It'll probably be 7 or 8 wins, but
what
it's gonna be
are
sub 500.
what would you think the odds would be that Justin Fields takes a snap as something other than quarterback?
Oh,
Technically,
super high.
I'd say probably like 70-80%.
I
They'll
don't
line him up
remember.
in as a wing or a running back or tight end or something and have some trick play, but
I
it
don't remember
won't
where
be
I read
often.
this, so I don't know how accurate it was or how reliable the source was. But I saw something about him returning kicks.
Oh, that's kind of a fun idea. I think that's probably someone with the new kickoff rule, because I know there's been a lot of talk of trying to get like actually talented guys. I guess that's rude to say. Like starter caliber players back there returning kicks. So that might have just been like an idea somebody popped up with, but
The return specialist may be back. The Devin Hesters, the Josh Cribbs of the world, now that they have this stupid
Cordero
kickoff rule.
Pattersons,
Devin
I don't
Hester,
know.
what a
Dante
stud.
Halls.
What
Cordero
a
Patterson
stud.
was a little more than a specialist, but yeah.
I mean,
he's still
he
actively
was-
playing.
I think any team that gets Cordell Patterson is lucky to have him.
Is he still on the Falcons?
No,
Is he still in the
he's-
league?
He's in
Oh.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
he and several
Where he
players
at?
went with Arthur Smith to Pittsburgh.
Interesting.
I hope there wasn't an Arthur Smith where he at because
You just ruined it.
yeah.
That was the big finale. All right, boys. Gardner Minshew, where he at?
Ooh,
Indeed.
he's an Oakland Raider, is he not?
Yeah.
He is an Oakland Raider.
Well,
He
a
beat
Las
out
Vegas Raider. My bad.
that. Yeah. What are you doing to us, Al? He beat out Aiden O'Connell for the starting job. He will be starting.
He's definitely
Oh,
not in
wow.
Oakland.
Vegas.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, I don't know if he still does, but he had an awesome mustache. I mean, like my
Yeah.
mustache used to look up to his
He's
mustache.
he's improved it with a full-on mullet now.
Whew.
Has
Gardner
he?
Minshew with the Uncle Rico. He's going to be throwing touchdowns from Oakland to Las Vegas.
Over the mountains.
Yeah, over the mountains, baby.
Love it. Gentlemen, Derrick Henry, where he at?
Baltimore. That
Nice
is
job.
a great signing for them. Like that team, Mark Jackson's not going to have to throw once.
He just feels like a Raven somehow. I don't know.
He does.
I don't know why. He's going to look great in the black and purple.
Is it Jamal
I-
Lewis, the giant guy they had that ran for 2,000 yards? They've always had. I feel like they've had a big back like that a lot of times. I know Steven Jackson didn't play there. He was in St. Louis most of his career, but he felt like a Ravens running back too.
Yeah, I saw something about people being high on the Titans this year as like they're underrated, and I'm like, I don't see it. New coach, new GM, new OC, Will Levis, and no Derrick Henry, and I don't care who you brought in to rebuild that roster. It's not going to be a good team. So
Matt would be disappointed if we didn't say washed and distressed Will Levis.
Yes, correct.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Boys, Saquon Barkley, where he at?
Ooh, he's getting that
Philadelphia.
nice, delicious Philly sub.
Yeah.
Cheesesteak.
Actually, he's probably in Brazil as we speak.
Yeah,
But but he will be playing for the Eagles this year. Yes.
He's watching some of them soccer games with all the Chelsea Brazilian kids that we signed.
There you go. Boys, Joe Mixon, where he at?
Oh, actually, I'm not sure about that one.
Is it? I'm gonna throw this out there. Is it Green Bay?
Is it
No.
not Tampa? Is it?
I have him on one of my fantasy teams, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I just assumed when I picked him he was still in Cincinnati.
New Orleans? I don't know.
No,
No.
you're getting closer geographically. Joe
Chargers?
Mixon's
Houston?
Tampa Bay?
He's in Houston.
Houston.
Houston, playing for the Texans.
That's
Oh.
right.
I mean, that's gonna be a good
So
point.
close. I was gonna say that.
Boys, Keenan Allen, where he at?
Oh, I know. Chicago.
Yeah. Have you been watching Hard Knocks?
No.
That's
I
not how you
just
know?
I know that they have some decent receivers there to go with a child for quarterback, and everybody thinks it's going to work out, and I really don't.
Do you
I-
want it to?
I hope you're right.
Just you could put anybody in Chicago and it's not going to work. You could literally take the Rams offense from the early 2000s, put it in Chicago, and for some reason Torrey Holt wouldn't have been able to catch the ball. Isaac Bruce would have been slow. It just would have happened.
All right, boys. Josh Jacobs, where he at?
Is that Green Bay?
It is.
Ah, I got it.
You knew they got a big name free agent running
Yeah.
back, but
Aaron Jones is gone.
he is. But AJ Dillon's still there. Boys, Curtis Samuel, where he at?
Carolina?
I wish.
I got no idea.
Would it help if I said he might jump off of the top of an RV through a table?
Yeah, Buffalo.
Yes, he is with the Bills. And then let's wrap this up with an ode to Matt, even though he's not here. Guys, Sam Howell, where he at?
I hate him.
Is he not in Washington anymore?
He's not in Washington
Uh-oh.
anymore.
Is he selling used cars?
He might be, but he's also employed by an NFL team.
Okay.
Buffalo?
He went coast to coast.
Okay.
We're gonna
Seattle?
say
Seattle.
Sacramento Kings.
Yes, he will be playing for Sacramento Kings. No, Sam Howell to the
Seahawk,
Seahawks.
eh?
Yeah, look at that. That makes me so happy. Matthew, welcome to the festivities.
Hey guys.
We just got done with where he at.
Yeah, Andy was
Yeah.
being racist though. He didn't pick
Oh,
any
game of
defenders.
where he at? I love it.
I was. Mostly quarterbacks and running backs. A couple of wide receivers. Hey, Matt, Sam Howell, where he at?
I know the Seattle Seahawks.
That is correct. Well done.
I was preparing for this game just in case I was going to have to host, so I do know a couple extras.
All right. How about we didn't do this one. Jameis Winston, where he at?
Oh,
Cleveland.
That's
Oh,
right.
I'm a Browns fan now.
All right. How
What does one problematic quarterback need? Another problematic quarterback.
I didn't
needs a
even
buddy?
think about that. The two of them like, hanging out.
I don't think Jameis is problematic at all anymore. He's
I know. I don't think so either. I mean, he like grabbed a titty in an Uber, like an unwarranted titty in an Uber,
Oh,
and he stole some crap.
Who among
my
us
God.
hasn't?
did y'all see his speech about CC's Pizza?
yeah, that was great.
Oh man,
They lost
I did
though.
like that.
So, Al, would you like me to do a couple of defensive players? Would that make you feel better?
If you have a couple up your sleeve, I'd be happy to
right.
take a stab at it. This is
Willie
gonna
Gay
it's gonna be
Jr..
awful. No one's gonna know who.
Willie Gay Jr., where he at?
I don't know who that is.
He just
Patriots.
won back-to-back Super Bowls with the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Patriots.
Then
This is why I didn't do defensive players.
well, you lead it off with Willie Gay Jr., buddy. I don't know, man.
He was
Willie
the
or Woney, I
centerpiece
don't
of
know.
2 Super Bowl winning. All right, how about
Centerpiece.
He will.
Jordan Poyer? Where he at?
Again, do you know defensive players?
I know Dolphins.
I know none of us know defensive players, which is why I left him out of the game. You're the one complaining about it.
All right, okay.
Matt is correct. Jordan Poyer signed with the Dolphins. One more. C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Ooh, yeah, I should know because he did not re-sign with Detroit. Did he go back to Philly? No.
Did.
Oh,
He did.
good, Al. Wow.
All right.
He wasn't
Unless
bad.
anybody-
He wasn't bad in Detroit. I don't know why you guys replaced him.
He got hurt, so he missed like 14 games or something.
Last year, but he was there 2 years,
Yes.
wasn't he?
No.
No,
So he was
wasn't?
good in the like 2 games he played.
Oh shit, he was really only there 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was fun. Thank you for playing Where He At, gentlemen. Next, we're going to move on to our top Week 1 matchups. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be the best matchup out there, just the one that you're excited to watch for whatever reason. So, Danny, you want to kick us off here?
I'm going 49ers Jets. I want to see Aaron Rodgers on the field for 3 to 4 plays before whatever part of him snaps in half. And I want to see my number 1 overall pick, Christian McCaffrey, crush it in for the 49ers. And like, I mean, not to give anything away, but that line is wrong, and 49ers only favored by 4.5 is not lay the 4.5.
Nice.
Or should you?
All right. Giving out picks. Or oh, you got to fight. All right, Al, what game are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm not overthinking it. It's Baltimore, Kansas City. It's the first game of the season. Even if it's, Thursday night games typically have a stink to them that teams are underprepared. But with it being the first one of the season, these teams are going to be raring to go. I'm hoping that we see Baltimore hang in this one. I thought about picking them to cover here, but I don't think I had the fortitude to follow through there. But I'll just be watching and rooting for a good game.
Sunshine, what do you got for your favorite pick of Week 1?
I'm sure it's no surprise, but I'm super excited to watch the Atlanta Falcons with all the moves they've made in the offseason. They went heavy in some offensive positions. We talked about, signing Kirk Cousins and drafting the QB, but they made a lot of moves on defense, and I'm excited to see what these recent signings will bring.
I think you might be the only person who would pick Steelers Falcons as your most exciting game of the week.
You already chose Baltimore.
I know. Yeah, touche.
Matt, do you have a pick?
I kind of want to see the Eagles and Packers Friday night. They don't usually have NFL games on Friday night. That's reserved for high school. It's in Brazil, and I don't know what that is. And I know there was like a rumor that they can't wear green in that area. I don't know how true that is. Because
the stadium is the big rival of, is it Palermo? I don't know how to say any of the Brazilian teams' names, but I think it's Palermo that wears the same color green as the Eagles, and their big rival obviously hates them, and you're not allowed to wear that color there. So
I just hope we get a lot
really
of
funny if they don't let any of the fans in.
I want to see. I feel like Jordan Love got paid too soon, and I want to see what that's all about. Right? Is he actually the truth?
I'm gonna go a little strange with this pick. I'm gonna go Titans at Bears. I'm just super excited to see what the revamped Bears look like. We talked about this already a little bit, but they had 2 picks like right at the top of the first round. They took Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze.
Yeah.
Did they get that right? They also traded for Keenan Allen. I try really hard not to let like something like Hard Knocks sway me one way or the other. In fact, I usually bet against the Hard Knocks teams because I feel like the public likes them. But something about this Bears team, I kind of like. I kind of am excited to see it.
So not to give it away, but I'm gonna give it away. I'm laying the points with the Bears this week. I actually saw a stat tonight that was like rookie quarterbacks are 7-20 ATS in their first start, and like 0 and something. 0 for everything, straight up. I think that's the kind of stat you see when that is the last time you see that stat. So
most rookie quarterbacks aren't throwing to Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and a number 2 overall pick or whatever.
Yeah, I forgot about DJ Moore. Cole Kmet is not a bad tight end.
Yeah, so there's a lot of reason for the Bears to think they're going to have a good offense, but as previously stated. they're the Bears, so we can pretty much guarantee that they're not going to have a good offense.
And
Yep.
and you know, along the same lines, I'm down on the Titans. So like, if they don't win this one, they're not going to win very many.
All right. You guys ready to move on to our best bets of week 1? Give out some actual
Yeah.
picks here. Al, you already teased yours, so why don't we start with yours?
Yeah, so I'm gonna lay the 4 points with the Bears. I think that's my favorite bet. It's that or it's Indy +3, whichever one you listening to these words like better. That's my lock. For the purposes of this, I would say it's Chicago -4, but I do really like the Indy play too.
All right. I am going to go with Atlanta -3 for
I'm sure
my
Sunshine
best bet.
stamps his approval on that one.
Yeah. I hopefully I'm not jinxing you, bud, but I think they might have 2 quarterbacks that are both better than anybody on the Steelers. Russell Wilson has just looked bad for a number of years now. Like, yeah, Mike Tomlin's a good coach, but so is Sean Payton, right? It's not like he was playing for a scrub before.
Yeah, I think 2 things are very clear now with a little bit of hindsight. One is that Pete Carroll is a QB whisperer, and he can make bad quarterbacks good.
He did
The
that.
other is that teams that wear black and yellow are bad on offense. Whether they're in Iowa or Pittsburgh, be a rich man if you bet those team unders all season long, you'd probably come out ahead
We should do a black and yellow parlay
every week.
every week. Yeah.
The black and yellow parlay, just
Team
unders.
total unders.
The black and yellow team under.
Yes.
Team total.
I don't know.
under
Iowa scored like
parlay.
40
I
last
love
week.
it.
Without
but
the parents.
Matt or Danny, you missed the pod. Some would say it was not a coincidence that the game without a Ferentz involved, they hung 40.
yeah,
Rumors have it
possible.
that Kirk is thinking about firing the guy who coached the game for scoring too many points.
That'd be a funny move.
Not-
So
not
I'm
real
I'm
happy.
going with actually a college pick here because I wasn't on the pod yesterday. I'm going Troy +18.5. I have Memphis as like less than a touchdown favorite. So getting that many points is like it's a huge difference. So
That
I
is.
approve.
It's like
Nice.
11 points of difference.
I just don't have that much value on any of the NFL games. They're all 2 to 3 points in value. So
Sunshine, do you have a best bet of the week?
It's just going to be controversial, and I'm sorry. Baltimore. I'm taking Baltimore plus the 3 points. I just think that we talked about their run game stepping up with Derrick Henry, and I just think that the Ravens are going to go into this game with a chip on their shoulder just for the way that the playoff game went down last season. And I just think that they can make it happen. They can keep it close.
I also think KC lately has made and this is partly due to the fact that they've been playing into February for 3 or 4 years in a row now. They make a habit of dropping games early before they kind of crack the whip and tighten, batten down the hatches.
They're like an NBA team.
Yeah, if ever there's a time to strike, it's early against the Chiefs.
It's not till after Christmas. That's when their season starts.
Yeah.
Because
this
they can
is all
half-ass it
preseason.
until
The
then.
next 2
and-
months is preseason.
Matt, do you have a best bet for week 1 of the NFL?
I don't know if 42, but I still like it at 41.5. I'm going to take the under 41.5 in Pittsburgh, Atlanta. I know you like Atlanta to cover the 3 here, lay the 3. Pittsburgh's defense is supposed to be elite from what I heard. Kirk Cousins and that offense, or Penix and that offense, however they get started, they may take a little bit of time, but I do think Pittsburgh's offense is going to be pretty bad this year. So under 41.5 feels like a right play.
Does anybody have any money line plays that they'd like to give out? And before we do, just another quick reminder, we are not big fans of parlaying these together. We would recommend putting them in a round robin instead, just to give yourself a little bit better chance to at least crack even or maybe make a little money.
I prefer the round robins by 2s and 3s, so you don't end up wasting your money on those 4s and 5s bets, especially if you're picking a lot of teams. If you're really good, you might hit one of them, but the 2s and 3s work better. I only have one this week that I really like. I'm going with Indy. I think they have a real good chance to win that game. Like I said, I think CJ Stroud, while very, very good, I think that he's just getting a lot of hype this year, and I think that that's pushed the line too far the other way. And Indy has a good chance to win, and you're going to get some plus money on it. So
I got a couple stinky ones that are going to feel real bad to bet, but I'm going to look real smart if they hit. One is the New York Football Jets as what 4.5-point dogs at San Francisco. The other one is the Arizona Cardinals against the Buffalo Bills. I think they are 6.5-point dogs. I fully do not intend on seeing either of those two teams, or maybe not both. Maybe one of those teams covers or wins. I think it might be worth a shot. So if you like those sides to cover, which hint I also do, those two along with Indy would make for a nice little round robin on the money line if you were to consider such a thing.
I think I'll be sprinkling a little bit on Packers, Giants, and Cowboys.
Cowboys makes a lot of sense. Again, this is another year where people are high on Cleveland for no good goddamn reason.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, it's happened like almost every year for about a decade now.
Seems like it. Everybody's like, oh, they got good players, but do they?
Yeah.
Matt, any money lines you like?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Dallas. I know we just said that, but that was the one I was leaning to, and I wasn't paying attention to the other options.
Dallas is a good one.
We've got some teaser legs. For anybody who didn't listen last year, NFL, specifically Wong Teasers on NFL sides, not totals, are the one place where you can pretty reliably find value on teasers. Anybody want to give like a quick 20-second rundown of what a Wong teaser is?
It's when you tease through 3 and 7 if you are a short dog, so plus 2 points. You tease that up to 8. If you are a heavy favorite, minus 8.5, minus 9, or not minus 8.5, you would tease that down to 2.5. So you're getting less than a field goal as a favorite, more than a touchdown as a dog.
So I tend to just play almost all of these pretty much blindly. I'll even round robin all of them. But for this segment specifically, I'm going to give out just my favorites. So my favorite two for this week are the Bengals and the Giants. Specifically, those are both teams that are playing at home with very low totals in the game, which means that points are going to be at a premium. And those are things that tend to make Wong teasers even more valuable. So I'm going to be on all of them, but those are the two I like the best.
The ones that are currently in the Wong range are Giants, Packers, and Cowboys as dogs, and the Bengals as a favorite. Couple that have been at some point this offseason, you may be able to find a 2.5, but I think they're firmly in the 3 right now. Indy and Baltimore also could potentially fit that.
Also, technically, I think to get the best value out of a Wong teaser, this is the one time where you do want to wait, right? If you bet Sunday morning, you're getting the truest line. So if they're in the Wong range on Sunday morning, that's when you get the best value. In every other circumstance, you want to bet early in the week. I don't follow that, mostly because I put in like 40 of them and it takes me hours. So I do it earlier in the week. I don't have time for that on Sunday. But
yeah, I hadn't really thought about that. And then
the other thing
that
is what you're supposed to do.
The other thing is you want to get these at minus 120 or better, and you want to do
for a
only
2-team
2-team 6-point teaser. You don't want to buy extra points. You don't want to get it at worse odds because you lose the value.
Yeah, it's really tempting to start going crazy with some of these. You start thinking like, oh, 6 points is fine, but what if I get 7.5 and I tease it from plus a half to plus 8? You're not getting the value there. All right, boys.
Here's one other thing I just wanted to mention.
Yeah.
Because I've been seeing it on my Twitter feed lately. Chase Daniel doing the recently retired Chase Daniel doing homemade film reviews of college clips. He's definitely 100% trying to mimic the Dan Orlovsky home film review to ESPN talking head pipeline. And I wish him the best in his efforts.
Nobody's paying Chase Daniels to hold a clipboard this year because I feel like he made more money as a backup quarterback than anybody in the history of football. For sure he did. He's like the ultimate, like dollar per snap played. He's got to be like really high up there. I mean, even when he was wasn't he at US? He was at Missouri.
Missouri, yeah.
There was another guy who was the backup at USC who ended up as a backup in the pros for a long time. I forget his name, but
Matt Leinart.
Matt Barkley.
No, Barkley was the starter, but I'll come up with it at some point.
Matt Barkley wasn't the starter in the NFL.
No. He was only a backup at
Oh.
USC, and then he got drafted high.
Gotcha.
John David Booty.
That could be it.
General Booties.
Where he at?
I
Days
thought
or
it was
car
one of the guys.
dealership?
I thought it was one of the guys who ended up in backing up Tom Brady at one point that ended up with a starting job somewhere, but I can't come up with his name.
Where did Matt Castle get a school? I don't know.
USC.
Ooh, John David Booty's on LinkedIn. He's a consultant.
There he is. Booty consultant.
If that's not the
What's
name,
it like?
if that's not the name of his consulting firm, he's not doing that right.
Hey, who was
Booty
that?
consulting.
Who was that?
It absolutely could be Castle, by the way, because he backed up Leinart in the 2001 to 2004.
Yeah, that's for
right?
sure who you're thinking of.
And it's got to be Castle.
Oh,
right.
Hey, we got there.
Regional manager, Target Oilfield Services, followed by executive vice president of Ventus Group Real Estate. I see you, John David Booty.
This is my favorite segment of the podcast. We pull up
Let's see
old
what-
players. LinkedIn.
Hey, whatever happened to that 3-name quarterback that was like from Alabama, Hoover, Alabama? What was his name? John Parker Wilson, was it?
Parker
John
Wilson,
Wilkes Booth.
indeed.
Him
Lee
too.
Harvey Oswald.
He had a rifle on him, that John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah, sure did.
Who's the
Yeah,
guy
little
that shot
cannon.
Reagan?
All right, I think we start talking about presidential assassination.
Guys, there's,
Sorry, I
there's
gotta
one thing
think
I do
of
want to bring up
algorithm. Kennedy
before we
assassination.
go.
Grassy knoll.
Matt, what do you got for us?
There's a top wide receiver. He's 5 stars in the 2025 class, and his name is Booby Feaster. That's all I want to say. Booby Feaster.
That is fantastic.
I pride myself on not laughing at childish humor, but that one just leapt out of me.
Really? That's something
Yeah,
you pride
that's right. I don't.
All right, boys. That was a ton of fun. NFL is less than 24 hours away as we record this. It'll probably be 12 hours away by the time I post it. So excited. Can't wait. We're going to have Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So much football. It's going to be great.
Check your inboxes.
No
Yeah.
soccer this weekend, so mow your lawn early.
Perfect. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Toot-toot.
Thanks for listening to the newly rebranded Single Leg Parlay podcast. Visit our website at www.singlelegparlay.com, where you can read more of our thoughts as well as subscribing to our newsletter to have our picks delivered straight to your inbox each week. And don't forget to follow Single Leg Parlay on all of your favorite social media platforms. Cheers.